in my history, I say history, I mean today, to find points where I'm uncomfortable in this country.
But let me say this though, watch for the hook, because throughout history, during the '60s was like a very pivotal time with so many black leaders. The government started assassinating them and started taking them out. You know what I mean? So then we had like the '80s, and there were really no leaders. Like all of them were dead pretty much. So like the drug dealers came out, you know, the crack epidemic and whatnot. I think it was something I was thinking about this other night. Like think of them cats, like the big drug dealers of the '80s. Who would they have been if with guidance?
Yeah.
I don't think they would have been drug dealers. They would have been like black leaders or Umar Johnsons or something. But anyway, where we are now is like I feel like we're pulling ourselves together. We're starting to make some money. We are like we kind of gathered ourselves. It's almost like a boxing match, right? There was a knockdown in the '60s, a knockdown in the '80s, and now we're kind of gathering ourselves. Throughout history, watch for the hook, bro. Something else is coming. We just got that this mass incarceration thing. We kind of just not getting over that. You know, the white people going, oh well, maybe we shouldn't have did that and all that. Watch for the hook. Something else is coming. I don't know what it is, but something else is coming.
Yeah, and you know, and it's, you know, we talk sports a lot, and like you mentioned, it's kind of like a boxing. It's like any sporting event. Is you have to adjust the game plans, and you know, there's game plans being formed all around. You're absolutely right. And as a mass of people, we have to be ready to adjust our own game plans. You know, it's weird. I know I mentioned, you know, like I forgot the guy's name, man. I texted you guys about the show that's on Netflix, The Inside Man. I forgot the guy's name who hosted. But it's kind of along those same lines. He went to visit South Africa now that apartheid is over, and just the growing communities of white people who are no longer benefiting from those apartheid laws, who are homeless and living in parks and in communities, like homeless communities, because they don't know what to do because they've been made uncomfortable, and like the rules aren't written in their favor anymore. And it's kind of the same thing here. When, like you mentioned, you look at these guys who come from, you know, upper middle class families who are in their 20s and 30s, who never suffered a day in their lives, who are just being uncomfortable. And when you look at what David Duke said about the guy who ran through the street with the people, he was like, man, you know, he literally said, you know, when people panic, you know, you do stuff, you know, you do crazy stuff. That kills me, because those same people like David Duke, who will say, look at Chicago, look at Detroit, will and totally forget about the circumstances that those people are put in since birth, but yet they'll, you know, excuse this guy who had one moment of panic and piled through hundreds of people with a car because he was panicking in one situation.
Don't let it get. He's doing what he's supposed to do. It's cool. It's cool. David Duke repping for his people. So we need to rep. We need to rep for our people and stop asking white. A lot of this been going on this week, man. A lot of people I respect, like they asking white folks to help us. Like we gotta stop that, man. Yes, they caused the situation, but they not gonna do a goddamn thing to change it. We've been waiting for how long? We gotta change this stuff ourselves. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna be on the stop killing yourself type of nonsense, because that's kind of on them. But for the ones of us that are woke, we gotta pick up our own pieces and clean up our own mess, or not clean up the mess that they caused. It's not even our mess. It's the mess they caused.
It is our mess.
It is our
like
mess,
we gotta own our mess. Nah, it is our mess. I'm not with that. I'm not there. Our mess is our mess that we're creating, and I'm not. Y'all, we can argue all night. Y'all not changing my mind on that. I agree with you in the sense of we got to do for self. I disagree that we shouldn't expect others to work with us and assist. I mean, I just think partnership is a goal. Collaboration, to me, I just believe in that in every aspect of life.
Like
so that's on every level. So I just don't agree with. I look at, as long as I'm in this country, the rules of this country are numbers. It's a numbers game. Whether it's capitalism or democracy, it's a numbers game. And as long as I represent the minority, I need, if I want to get what I want, I need to connect to make more numbers. That's the only way I'm gonna get what I want. That's how I play this game.
Got it. Al, have you ever heard of redlining?
In terms of
government
loans and stuff like that, and housing? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, so you don't think that, like, okay. Let me back up further. To look at the situation of black people are in America, and to just look at it and see how black people, how we are like the poorest demographic. To not thinking that someone caused this upon us, then you would have to think that we are just we're just not as smart as anyone else. Like it's like a black or white, right or wrong, up or down here. Like there's no gray there. It's either someone is doing this to them, or they're doing it to themselves. Like, because they're just not as smart. You know what I'm saying? So, and I say that, and I go back to the redlining, the government redistricting, where they would not loan money to if there's a neighborhood full of people, and there's one black person lives in the neighborhood, they won't loan money to anybody in that neighborhood, but they will loan money to the white neighborhoods. Like, this is the government policy from like 50, 60, 70 years.
Yeah,
that built
before that, like the Homestead Act,
a middle class.
First moving from England. Like,
God damn it. Yeah, we are talking about the fucked up. I just called that out as an example.
Y'all wasting time if y'all are trying to get me. I'm not saying that things haven't been done to us. So you don't have to waste time trying to convince me things haven't been done to us.
Okay.
I'm not there. I agree with you. I acknowledge that. We can move past that.
Okay.
So you don't have to convince me of that. But despite the fact that things have been done to us, I don't think that on a large scale that people are making the most of their opportunities.
Fair.
I don't think that's happening. I don't think it's wait, let me finish. I don't think it's because people can't. I don't think that's the truth. So I need to hope that it's a will thing, because I believe they can. So how can we get us to do it? Because it's not a can thing. So I think to put the onus on someone else, right? That eliminates our opportunity to encourage. And when you want people to do better, you usually don't, like, even if it was a fat person, you wouldn't be like, yo, I want you to lose weight, and the reason you haven't lost weight is because you live next to a McDonald's and Burger King and no, you would say, yo, these are the steps to change and improve, and usually it involves you making different life choices. So that's how I approach this situation, and that's how I just approach life. That
I hear you, bro.
Making better life choices.
I hear you, bro. And let me just say this one little thing. I think at the end of the day, we're kind of going to say the same thing. It's just that I believe that you need to diagnose the problem, to figure out how we got here, then you move forward. We can't just brush over it, because otherwise you can have a person thinking, I'm just fucked up because, black people are just not, we're just not as smart as everybody. We're just messed. Like, I've been hearing this. I hear this from like my own, like my mother, my own, like my family. Like they.
Why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't it be racism exists, and there's systematic things that we got to overcome, but we can overcome, and we need to.
Well, I'm just saying that there needs to be a step one, then a step two. Like I just feel like it seems like what I hear from you is almost like a brush over it. Like no, it's ours. Let's fix it. Let's pick yourself up. And I think we need to diagnose the problem.
All of that.
Okay,
I think the time we spend diagnosing and blaming is time we waste moving forward.
Disagree, but okay. I'm not blaming, but
I also think
I'll
that
acknowledge,
we've shown.
but let's keep moving. Keep moving.
But I also think we've shown a propensity to waste time by depending on other people to help us out.
Fair.
So,
we all have to get agreement on that.
So like I think like if you like I agree with what you're saying. You know, it's a waste of time to blame and to point fingers. But I also think it's a waste of time to wait on someone who doesn't feel and is not affected by your circumstances as a whole.
Here's why I don't think it's a waste of time. Mm-hmm. I think if you want to judge the fact that we haven't been able to do it on a large scale, that it's a waste of time, okay, I agree. But why I think it's not a waste of time is because unlike blaming and sitting here pointing the fingers or acknowledging, this could reap a benefit. I don't see a benefit of something we would gain by sitting here blaming someone else. I think the benefit of getting someone to assist and collaborate and partner on the issue of justice, equality, and equity is immense. So I'm willing to invest that. I know others might not be, and I get it. I'm willing to invest trying to partner with others because I think there's a benefit to gain from it, unlike blaming people. I don't see it.
But I think there's a difference because that word blame, it gets cast over with such a blanket with being honest. Because if we're walking in honesty and we're walking, if we're walking in truth, like a lot of things that are reality are not blaming. They're just pointing out the truth.
But what I'm saying is, when here's what I'm trying to avoid, Jake. Here's the only thing I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to avoid, if we're talking about an issue of Charlottesville and somebody brings up Chicago, to me, people who, like, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that Chicago is a problem. And it needs to be fixed, it needs to be condemned. But it's not why y'all bringing that up? It's all y'all fault. Why y'all? We can't even it's not their fault in Chicago. The hell it ain't. The hell it is. It is their fault. Stop saying that shit.
Wait. Okay,
but it's a totally different conversation. So,
it's a different conversation.
It's a different conversation. Yes. But to me, when you get into this thing where the problem that we have in our community ain't our fault. No,
it's not that. But like by somebody throwing up Chicago when we're addressing Charlottesville. It's total. It's like me going. It's exactly like me going to the doctor and said, "Doc, he said, hey, remember you used to smoke in college?"
Exactly, but you're changing the subject.
I could be like, "Yes, I did," but then I did, and I still do, but I still got a broke leg, Doc. Can we talk about my? You know what I mean? I can walk in both truths.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But when you like look at your doctor, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, I wouldn't.
Let me tell you this. Just like you deal with kids in school, and you deal with kids, you got to understand, just respect the fact that some people's minds work differently. People like me, I'm a why person. And it's nothing wrong with that. There's some people that are is person. Like they look at what it is now and what I got to do, and then I don't care how it got this way. But I am a why person. When I look at something, I love history. So if I look at Chicago, I want to know, how did it get like this? And that's not, I'm blaming nothing. I really just God honestly want to know. So I read and I go into all this stuff and I find, okay, now I can go forward. But otherwise I'll be stuck. I'll be stuck sitting there just confused. You know what I'm saying? So, but just respect that some people aren't, maybe I think you're not a why person. It sounds like you're just more like okay, this is what it is. This is what I got to do. Then I'm gone. But just understand that some people are not.
I don't mind hearing the why. I don't, because I study data. I think, there's a lot of value in understanding the whys of things, but I'm also into improvement. So the only reason I need to know why is so I can spend the majority of my time on improvement, not on the why.
Granted, but understand that some people may have to spend more time on the why before they can get to the improvement, or they'll be stuck, confused. You feel me? Like this, and if you're talking about like a coalition, there's knowing that everybody don't move the same. Like when we've been on this call, Pooh ain't said a word. Since I've been knowing Pooh, I think of Pooh's the quiet dude sitting in the corner just absorb.
All I'm doing is expressing where I'm coming from.
No, perfect.
I feel you. And in me saying that, I'm trying to say I do acknowledge that we all are different in this space. Yeah. I was only trying to acknowledge where I'm coming from.
Yeah. And that's for one, that's what I don't think a lot